Alright, so we actually got some new One Piece content in the form of Road to Laugh Tale Volume 1. Now, if you're like hardcore into One Piece, you pretty much know most of this stuff. But there is like 3 or 4 things here that are pretty interesting, and one of them is the section on where the final red stone is, or the road poneglyph. But once you have the information from all 4 of the road poneglyphs, then the location of Laugh Tale is revealed. Laugh Tale is like the main island of One Piece. It's where the One Piece is. Like the big MacGuffin of the series. And it shows us on the page where at least we, the audience, have seen or know where the road poneglyphs are. So of course there was one inside of the whale tree on Zoe, and then there was another one that was in Big Mom's possession. Both Roger and Brooke were able to get carvings of this despite that. You know, there's also another one that is in Wano somewhere. It actually says on the page that it's confirmed in one of Roger's flashbacks when he kind of just makes a pit stop there to get a carving, where it says Odin's statement confirmed that Wano was host to one of the coveted stones. Its location remains unknown, but it appears to have been somewhere convenient enough that a rubbing could be made in no time flat. We also get this little flashback panel of Big Mom talking to Kaido. When in referencing Onigashima, Kaido says, "It'll make a nice capital." And Big Mom says, "So your road poneglyph isn't there?" And Kaido says, "It's too early to be showing your hand, no?" And then under that, the text says, "Kaido's dominion over Wano has seemingly prevented other pirates from mindlessly pursuing this one." So this is interesting because we're like at the end of the Wano arc in the manga right now, and we still haven't seen this thing or even know its location. I mean, recently we did see that there is a poneglyph there for sure. It's pretty much the same one that Brooke saw a couple chapters back, and this was recently revealed actually in chapter 1053 when it's in the same location that Sukiyaki, aka Hitetsu, had been held captive this whole time. But this was just like a regular information giving poneglyph, not a red one. And since Kaido is MIA at the moment, it's not like he's going to be able to reveal where it is, so something is going to happen in these next couple chapters to where this is revealed and they can get a rubbing of it, because if they do, then I guess they'll have 3 of the 4 road poneglyphs, which means that after they leave Wano, then they could go on to get the last one. And that's actually mentioned here as well, because the last road poneglyph is the one that we saw on Fishman Island back in Roger's flashback from 26 years ago. It was next to Joy Boy's apology poneglyph, but when the Straw Hats got there, it was gone. And this is like the last one that they would need, if they do in fact get the one that's in Wano. And then under that, it says like, where is the final red stone? It must be somewhere unexplored by the Straw Hat crew. Is the final lode poneglyph in a region the Straw Hats have yet to visit? Maybe it's in one of these places. Also guys, if you like my One Piece content, please subscribe if you haven't already. It's fine if you don't want to, but if you just needed a reminder, here you go. Thanks. And then there's 3 places that are like highlighted specifically, and we actually see like panels of them. One is Full-A-Lead, which is the pirate island. This is like the place where the Rocks crew came together, but also where Blackbeard currently has set up his base of operations. Now this is like one of the prime candidates, of course, and this also could be the reason why Blackbeard is there. I mean, aside from Rocks being there, because you know, at this point it's pretty clear that he has some kind of tie to him. But if it's not just that, it could be he's there because, you know, the road poneglyph is there and he's holding on to it just like the other Yonko have. Now the other location is Elbaf, you know, the homeland of the giants. And it would also make sense if it's there too, because I know a lot of us speculate that this is likely going to be the next arc, or at the very least the next island that the Straw Hats are going to visit. Elbaf is super important to the series. It's heavily implied that Joy Boy was a giant, so his backstory is probably going to be revealed there, or somewhat. Also, Prince Loki was set up. That needs to be explored. And also, you know, the Atom Tree is there, which possibly has a tie to the Devil Fruits. So why not just have the, you know, road poneglyph there as well? I mean, that would make sense. And if the Straw Hats do eventually go there, then they can get it, and they would be killing like 3 birds with 1 stone, right? Now, the last one is the most interesting by far, and it's Vera, the once sunny town now plagued by coups. So if you're like confused as to what this place is, totally understandable, because also it's only mentioned like twice in the manga, and only like through dialogue. We never see it or anything like that. So the first time it's talked about is way back in freaking chapter 96, when after Nami gets one of the new newspapers, she reads like one of the articles and she says, "The world sure is in turmoil. There was another coup d'etat in Vera." And that's kind of where it ends. And then it's eventually mentioned again in chapter 228 after Nami reads one of Nolan's journal logs. She says, amazing, a log from 400 years ago. The age of Cayenne, 1120, June 21st. Clear skies, sailed from the lively town of Vera. Will follow the log pose and sail straight east, northeast. And that's it. Those are the 2 times that Vera is mentioned in the manga. And then other than that, it's mentioned another 2 times, but just in like supplementary information. So Oda talks about this in the volume 25 SBS when he's asked, where is Vera? And he says, oh, well, spotted 400 years ago when Nolan visited, Vera is indeed just a merry town. But these days, it's violent and dangerous country in the midst of a coup d'etat. But it's not really so much what's happening in Vera as what's happening all around the world at this time. I think you'll discover what I mean in the near future. Not as large as Alabasta, it's just a small country in the Grand Line, so hold off on your sightseeing trips. So, that's giving us more information on it, I guess, but another little interesting thing here is that it's coming from the volume 25 SBS. Now, granted, he was asked that question at the time, so it's possible that he didn't intend for it to be in volume 25, but volume 25 is important to the latest chapter of One Piece because the cover of that revealed that Buggy and Luffy were going to be the 2 future Yonko. Then again, Oda does stuff like this all the time, so maybe not. The other time that this is mentioned is in the 3rd One Piece data book called the One Piece Yellow Grand Elements. And it basically says that 2 years ago, a coup d'etat incited by the Revolutionary Army occurred in Vera. So that's probably the most insight that we've got into it so far. And considering that, all of this stuff is coming to light now, it's possible that we may have seen Vera for just 1 panel in chapter 1053. So on the page where Luffy, Kid, and Law's bounties are revealed, right above that, we see like this random place and these people reacting to the news. And it's this place obviously that we haven't seen before, and they, kind of look tribal somewhat. And in the background, we see that mural of Sabo. And I'm sure this raised a lot of speculation when we initially saw that. We're like, oh, what is this? Why is Sabo there? We haven't heard about Sabo since his death was implied, or it was implied that maybe he was framed for murdering Cobra or Vivi or something like that. But this place could be Vera because now we know that the Revolutionary Army incited the coup d'etat in Vera. And since Sabo is like the second in command, this could be like a mural like revering him, being like, oh, hey, this guy helped us. Now, the main reason that I'm focusing on Vera is because it's the odd man out here, right? I mean, there are other possibilities listed because it says there are more possibilities too. The world is vast with many obscure islands. Risky Red Island, Raijin Island, My Storm Island, Balloon Terminal, Yuki Ryu Island, Empty Bluffs Island, Apple Nine Island, etc. But I think he kind of just put there because he didn't want us to focus too much on these 3 options, but I think these 3 options are like the main ones. And the odd man out is Vera. And it makes me think that this might be the place where like the last road poneglyph is. And if it is, then that means that it was the road poneglyph that was taken from Fishman Island. And if the Revolutionary Army is connected to Vera, then it's possible that the Revolutionary Army is the one that did it. And this could add to Dragon's power, possibly. Now, I know you're also thinking, well, Robin was with the Revolutionary Army for 2 years. Why didn't she know about this? Well, it's possible they just didn't tell her. Maybe they didn't go to Vera for her to even see it. Also, there's plot holes connected to that whole storyline anyway, because why didn't Robin ever tell Luffy about Sabo being alive? And why didn't Robin tell everyone about what the poneglyph in Alabasta said about Pluton? Let's just not worry about that right now. So, very interesting. Vera. Obviously, I would have never thought about this because it's, mentioned twice, 4 times in total. And, maybe this is like Oda's crazy way of rewarding like the super hardcore One Piece fans who are paying that close of attention, maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much of the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. And if you like the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.